Those states are uninvestable. The policy here is insane. The taxes are too high. We put them in Fargo, North Dakota, because you're not investable anymore. You're punishing people if they're successful. You overtax them. You hit them with a super tax. New Jersey, what a mess. New York, uninvestable.
I love this. What's happened here is the system self-corrected. When you try and break the American model, it fixes itself. They made an excuse of $317 million in the kitty. They kept the same campaign manager and said, we will anoint this faulted, broken candidate who was inconsequential in her vice presidency, lost in 2019, as you detailed, complete loser.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Kevin O'Leary just going completely scorched earth against this ridiculous campaign of fools from CNN. Okay, now Scott Jennings is there, so at least you got one other person besides Kevin who has good sense. But it seems like, I don't know if they're just still trying to gaslight or if they're just reality denying. I don't know what the hell's wrong with these people. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Failure to separate from Biden was terrible. His failure to understand his own shortcomings was terrible. I mean, usually
not unusual for a vice president pair, right? Like Al Gore had that problem.
But usually in campaigns, the simplest thing is the true thing.
Excuses.
She's just not a very good candidate. She was not a very good candidate when she ran in 20, never made it to 20. She was not a good candidate in this election, and if she tries to run in 28, she won't be a good candidate again.
All right,
presidential campaigns show the limit of your talent.
We're talking about what happened in
unfair. She only had 3 months.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was running for 4 years.
Well, technically like 9.
Right? I mean, he was running.
Look at the excuses already, guys. Oh, Donald Trump was running the whole time. No, he wasn't. He literally stopped after the 2020 fiasco, and you didn't even hear anything from him for like over 2 years after that. And then he decided to run, what was it, like toward the beginning, I believe, of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's when they started ramping up all of those ridiculous charges against him. No, I think he said he was going to run in 2022. And then the charges came in 2023, right? So Donald Trump wasn't running the whole time, first off. Secondly, Kamala Harris ran for president already. Scott Jennings just mentioned that 2 seconds ago. He said she ran in 2019 and basically got her ass beat, so she couldn't even make it to the 2020 Iowa caucus. So I don't know what this, it's like the excuses are just astounding, guys. Like, I get you can try to defend your candidate, but it has to be reality. You can't just make stuff up.
Constantly. He created his own social media platform, which I thought was brilliant from a political standpoint, because now you've got these people trapped in this loop, and they're hearing the same message over and over again. And then Elon Musk then buys Twitter, and then he uses it the same way. They have Fox then using all of that and then repeating all of that. And so these people are hearing the same message over and over again for 4 years. She had 3 months to combat that. I think she did as well as she could do.
I mean, what do you think happens for people that watch MSDNC? How do you think Twitter was back when it was Twitter before Elon Musk purchased it? I mean, how do you think your platform is? CNN, where you guys just make all these excuses. ABC fake news, regular NBC, CBS, literally like all of them. The only thing that Trump has sometimes is Fox News. Truth Social isn't that big of a platform, so it's not even on any top 10 list. So I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. And then the X platform is still growing right now. So majority of the news media is to the left. This guy is just stupid.
1 second, I want to play one more piece of tape because this autopsy, so to speak, and when I think about this happening during the post-Mitt Romney period, right, where basically the Republicans were like, this is not working. We need to come up with a new plan. Like, let's make a report. So one of the other ideas comes from Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who was talking about the Harris campaign embracing basically Liz Cheney as a huge misstep.
That was stupid.
And basically talking about the idea that they lean too hard on this sort of mystery woman Republican who is going to vote against her husband and all this stuff. Gretchen, you're shaking your head.
Look, this is not Liz Cheney's fault, okay? Didn't she face enough scrutiny for being brave and coming out about January 6th? She basically completely ruined her political career by telling the truth. So I don't think that this is Liz Cheney's fault about saying that she was going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Guys, I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words at the level of stupidity that just came out of this woman's mouth. Nobody's saying it's Liz Cheney's fault. It's Kamala Harris's fault. We're saying that Kamala shouldn't pick some neocon warmonger like Liz Cheney, somebody who the Democrats don't like, the Republicans don't like, nobody likes. Kamala Harris don't even like her either. They, as you can see, they're not exactly best buds anymore. You're not going to see them together again, I guarantee you. So they were never friends. It was just some sort of weird coalition and attempt at a lick back against Republicans for kicking her and her dad out of the party, basically. It was a stupid move. They were trying to form some sort of fake coalition like, oh, see, even the Republicans are supporting Kamala Harris. No, this is some sort of warmonger establishment, neocon types that were supporting Kamala Harris so that Donald Trump wouldn't get in there and dismantle the deep state stuff. That's what we want to happen. They didn't want that to happen. So they didn't care if they had to be Republican or Democrat or anything in between. So of course, no real people give a damn about Liz Cheney. And as a matter of fact, it's very off-putting and it was not genuine. And I think a lot of people could easily tell that it wasn't genuine.
I think that Donald Trump got away with not having to explain his policies. The same thing did not happen to Harris. They wanted to know more details. The same thing was that Donald Trump didn't do interviews with unfriendly resources. Harris said, well, she should have.
This is just delusional. Like, he didn't do enough interviews? And Kamala Harris did?
Done more interviews. I agree with that.
I mean, he did do a lot of unfriendlies.
And press conferences.
I think so,
And
yeah.
Hello.
He didn't get.
One of the first
Look
ones.
at you. Look at you. Can't even talk. That's what. Because you sound stupid.
He did far more press interactions than Harris, like not even
And I
close.
criticized her for that.
Yeah.
I said at the beginning
the root
that she
of
should have
this
done more.
mistake actually
Here we
came
go.
very early on. They didn't run a process. They made an excuse of $317 million in the kitty. They kept the same campaign manager and said, we will anoint this faulted, broken candidate who was inconsequential in her vice presidency, lost in 2019, as you detailed, complete loser in 2020,
Facts.
never could articulate anything, had no compassion for people. And her own advocates, let's not forget this. I remember the minute this happened, I was in Europe. She went on to The View. All those women wanted her to win. They threw her a softball. They threw her a second softball. She was so weak as a candidate, she couldn't even answer that she would do something different. It ricocheted around the world. She was finished.
Well, let me
They
go.
will never do that again.
I know. Well, let me go back to the campaign because I don't want to call her broken or a loser. I'm not in that business. But I do want to talk about what the campaign.
No, she is a loser.
That's
Let's be
fine
sure
for you
of
to
that.
say, but I will not be name calling on this show. It's not my vibe.
Did she
I'm not
lose or
bringing
not?
it in.
Did
Here's
she
Quentin
lose?
folks from the campaign.
This is so stupid. Why is this lady acting offended? She literally lost the election. She lost the primary in 2019. Tulsi Gabbard nuked her out of existence. Okay, hit her with one of them ballistic missiles that Joe Biden gave to Ukraine. Then she got smoked in the 2024 election. Every state, I believe, they said 49 out of 50 states. In some stats are showing 49 out of 50 states went more Republican. Some stats are showing 50 out of 50 states are going more Republican. Either way, Kamala Harris made the whole country go more to the right. And this fool doesn't want to call Kamala Harris a loser. Meanwhile, anytime anybody says neo-Nazi, racist, Hitler, bigot, xenophobe, transphobe, these people have nothing to say. They sat up here and accepted Trump supporters being called Nazis, but being called a loser is too far. Being called broken is too. She just looked like she was drunk the other day. And then she goes, well, we're not going to cut people. She sounds so freaking butthurt about this L. It is Ridiculous. These hags need to go off air, guys. Like, bring Abby. Where's Abby Phillip at? Abby Phillip is the same way, as a matter of fact, because she gets all uppity about stupid stuff too. But it's like, what's up with the? Okay, if you're gonna be a strong woman, you gotta have thick skin too. Don't be a weak little P word, a weak little B on your show, because you don't see a bunch of emotional men on a lot of these shows, unless you're talking about like MSDNC or ABC Fake News or something. But most of the time, the dudes have the tougher skin. I don't know what's up with some of these women on some of these woke behind news shows, but these women need to get some tougher skin and roll with the punches. Because if you can't be out here calling people Nazi, and then somebody like, when you lost the election, they call you a loser, and all of a sudden you clutching your pearls. Like, girl, get the hell up off my screen. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
She was so weak.
Le who? The her.
Hey, you, loser.
I'm sorry, but you are a huge loser.
Complete loser.
Loser! What?